London headquarters of secretive magical society, the Golden Dawn, circa 1890. Prominent is a window with closed curtains, under which sits a sideboard with a decanter of whiskey and glasses. At a candlelit table across from an empty chair with a large plump cushion sits young Willie Yates. He mutters lines from Milton's Paradise Lost, as if reciting a prayer in an hour of need.
Here we may reign secure, and in my choice to reign is worth ambition though in hell. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. But wherefore let we then, our faithful friends, the Societs...
He breaks off on hearing an approach. Enter the elderly medium, Madame Helena Blavatsky. She places on the table a typical Ouija board of the time, a sheet of paper and a saucer with a drawn-on arrow.
Are you cold, sir?
A little, Madame Blavatsky.
Good, to keep you awake. I have had attendees of my late night seances fall dead away to slumber.
Ha!
And never again rise.
Oh.
I caught your words before. Many mage around this table has invoked burning flames of hell to keep themselves snug on
Madame Blavatsky. I am merely a romantic poet.
Oh, well, your poetry takes heavy influence from Milton in that case. Very heavy influence. Every last word.
Apologies. To be clear, I'm not claiming Paradise Lost as my own. Milton soothes me. I recite his work in times of strain. This is my first seance, you see. But as we say in Ireland, what you don't know won't kill you.
Nonsense! At Golden Dawn seance, what you don't know can kill you stone dead. Luckily, you have me as your guide between this world and other, and my Ouija board will serve as our portal.
He holds up and shakes the sheet of paper, which is inscribed with the alphabet, the numbers 0 to 9, yes and no written inside a circle. She places it on the table and puts the upended saucer over the paper.
I hope you don't mind conducting a private session. I'm shy of large gatherings.
I do not conduct. I listen and reply as you wish. And yes, I do not mind. That's why the price of admission is always free, save for a donation. Double donation for private session.
Yates rummages in his pockets and manages to unearth the requisite amount of coins, which he hands to Madame B, who places them in a string purse. She sits on her chair. The plump cushion raises her to a height greater than Yates's.
How can I help you tonight?
I wish to commune with the dead to find otherworldly inspiration for my poetry.
To whom do you wish to speak, then?
Let me see. An old Fenian would be lovely.
Which old Fenian?
Do you know who was a great old Fenian? James Stephens.
More information, please.
Founding member and president of the Irish Republican Brotherhood.
Did he live in West London?
Stephens. He fought his whole life to end British rule in Ireland.
Then, given the man's nationalistic proclivities, he'd hardly be knocking around Hammersmith after passing over, would he?
Does this mean I have to choose a local spirit?
Yes, else Falcon cannot hear Falconer.
Okay, well, in that case, well, let's leave it up to the gods. I want to speak to anybody who wants to speak to me.
Anybody want to speak to Willie? Sorry?
Yeats.
Thank you. Willie Yates. Anyone? Nothing.
Try WB.
WB Yates. Anybody want to speak to WB Yates?
Is the stroke of midnight a good time for spirits?
Or spirits more so morning people. Now is a good time for spirits, yes. You are author, you say. What have you written recently?
Well, I've published a book called Fairy and Folk Tales of the Irish Peasantry.
Fairy tales from Irish peasants. Irish peasants? Peasants! Anyone? No uptake at the moment.
Perhaps a Celtic warrior.
Oh, I sincerely doubt it. I will cast around some more.
He eyes the whiskey on the sideboard.
Would you like a drink, madame?
Pour yourself a whiskey, Mr. Yates. You don't have to pretend to be milk of human kindness first.
He stands, pours himself a drink. As he turns his back, the madame goes into a mild trance. The arrowed saucer starts moving over the paper. A purple spotlight illuminates the floor behind her.
Oh, I think we have gentleman caller.
Oh, all right. What's being said?
Oh, it is Mr. 666. Do you know Mr. 666?
Do you mean the devil himself?
It's coming here to tempt you. Don't be ridiculous. This is a room above Blythe Road. This is not Judean desert.
Well, I'm afraid I'm at a loss then.
Can we address you by another name?
As before, the arrowed saucer moves over the letters.
The Beast. Do you know the Beast?
No.
Are you sure? Now he's here, it would be easier if I try to speak to him directly. Oh, he says it's Alistair. Oh, all the way from Warwickshire. Do you know an Alistair?
Yes, I know an Alistair. But he's not a spirit yet, unfortunately.
Oh, it's not a spirit. It is an astral projectioner.
What exactly is an astral projectioner?
Oh, somebody very much alive who is having an out-of-body experience, of course.
Has this person had a shock?
No. It's deliberate. I assure you, our visitor is quite the skilled magician, indeed. Alistair! Speak! Oh, he's telling me that he's your spirit guide.
Spirit guide? No. This is Alistair Crowley, isn't it?
Well, unless you know of another magician in the West Midlands called Alistair.
I wish that I did, madame. But I have little time for Crowley, and I know he has little time for me, ever since he forced his poetry on me, and I told him honestly what I thought of it. Not much.
Well, he's here now, and I don't think he's looking for notes on his metaphors.
Yes, well, can you just please ask him just to push off?
Oh, testy. We can end the session if you wish.
Why should I end the session? This is my session. I donated double for this session.
Oh.
A hand moves onto the saucer with great alacrity.
Oh, he is insistent that he has important message for you.
Let's just tell him to put in a letter, like any sane person would. I'm not interested in anything he's got to say in astral or corporeal form.
He is speaking about you now. Oh my.
What's the scoundrel saying? What's he saying? Please, tell me exactly.
Do you want me to modulate my voice or keep my own?
Oh, keep your own, I'm sure.
I am the great magician and poet.
Madame, I didn't know you wrote poetry. That's really...
I don't. He does. Will I use a approximation of his voice?
Yeah, I think that'll be less ridiculous.
Now confused, he bear no gibbon.
Is this you speaking, or him?
Him!
Well, tell him there's no such thing as an Inferno Gibbon, not even in fairy lore. The closest thing I've seen in real life would be a leprechaun. So, yeah, get your facts straight and stop speaking nonsense.
He says he has seen the future. He has important prophecy about you.
Well, if it's so important, you can speak it to my face. Why astrally project?
Because that's what magicians do. Golden Dawn is not Guild of Toastmasters.
So what's the prophecy then?
You will die alone, your legacy destroyed, unless you follow my guidance on all matters, especially those of the heart.
Now, listen, you lout, you doomsaying, like everything else you produce is falling on deaf ears. Yet the reason I don't like you has got nothing to do with your pointless prognosticating or your juvenile magic tricks. It's because you prey on the weak-willed and the poorly educated. Present company accepted.
Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law.
I don't want to hear this nonsense. I'm trying to talk to the dead here. Begging your pardon, madame. Alistair Crowley's got a way of just plucking at my nerves.
Ha, ha, ha.
My, is that your laugh? You should get that checked.
His.
Oh, fine. Well, you can laugh all he wants. Only I think I'm due a little snort myself. Huh.
You want to know what you find so amusing?
Him, of course. Using a woman for his own selfish means, and not for the first time I've heard it told.
Rowley protests that he does not know to what you are referring. A feeling he compares to reading one of your poems.
Oh, please. He might be oblivious to his predatory behaviour towards women, but believe me, it's well known throughout London society.
Me? Predatory?
Yes.
Alistair Crowley enters, bathed in a purple spotlight. The Madame slumps onto the table, seemingly unconscious. He speaks directly to Yates, who can hear but not see him.
Minor poet, it's me, the major magician.
Wait, you blackguard, you! What have you done to the Madame?
I've put her to sleep. Or perhaps it was conversing with you that did it.
Look, if she's hurt in any way...
The Madame can give as good as she gets, believe me. And as to your accusations that I prey on the fairer sex, don't you agree that our entire society is predatory towards women? No, flat out enslaves them?
No, that sounds dangerously like suffragettism.
Well, perhaps then some men are just cleverer and sneakier at being predatory. Men like you.
What, me?
Yes. Your talent and hunger for it will grow with age. I mean, the way that you will groom your muses to devote their lives to you is disgusting.
Will grow with age. You're expressing disgust for something which hasn't happened. Speculative disgust.
Yes.
And muses. I don't have muses.
You will. One woman in particular will breathe life into your work, bear you children, set straight your family matters, and protect your legacy.
Oh really now? Oh, yeah. I'll believe that when I see it.
But you will not act as a man should towards this particular devotee.
What do you know about how a man should treat a woman?
Don't believe every rumor you hear about me. Half of them I made up myself for the publicity. Trust me, as things stand, you will not treat this woman as you yourself would wish to be treated. However, I will show you how you can go about things the right way to benefit yourself, the lady in question, and all of humanity.
Is that all? And how does a second-rate mind propose to do that?
I'll show you who's second-rate. Allow me into your addled mind, and I will teach you a thing or two.
Never! Qui affecto protego. Serpentibus et meis stirpe.
Hello, Alistair. I'm in your head. How does it feel?
Looks like you know a few parlor tricks yourself. You've kept your magicianship well hidden, almost as well hidden as any talent for poetry.
With good reason. lest I garner a reputation as poor as yours. And while I'm here, I don't want to hear another word of Thelema.
You know of Thelema?
Yes, I once read a pamphlet on your philosophy. I wanted to see if it was as bad as your poetry. It isn't. It's worse.
Oh. In that case, I will use other means to guide you on the better path and show you who's the better man.
Oh, please. You can only use your so-called powers on those who leave themselves wide open to them.
Correct. Sleep deeper, madame.
Madame B slumps off the chair onto the floor. Yates dives to her aid.
Madame! Madame!
Forget her. She's dead to the world so long as you resist me. As soon as you accept me into your mind completely and become my humble devotee, I will awaken the madame and consent to being your guide and light.
Ludicrous. You're a raving madman. Now, enough of these shenanigans. Revive the madame at once.
I said, forget her and listen. Follow my teachings and your mind can stretch and bend and...
Break!
No. It will grow ever more supple and stronger. Yoga for the soul I'm offering.
You want nothing but to wreak havoc in others' lives for your own amusement. I've had enough. I must attend to the madame.
He places the seat cushion under her head.
Refuse me then. I can influence your life in other ways still.
Crowley mimes taking the cushion from behind Madame B's head and placing it over her face. In doing so, he is magically forcing Yates to follow suit. Yates's hands duly smother Madame B with the cushion. In his distress, Yates cannot maintain telepathic contact on his side.
Stop! Get out of my head!
Ha! You are out of mine.
Madame B tries to push Yates off in vain.
Give in to me, Yates. A murder scandal will be a great topic for your poetry, perhaps a cycle of poems to be completed from the jailhouse. And I think the madame is more than ready to join the spirits she talks to on a daily basis. Don't you?
Yates tries manfully to resist Crowley's hold on his mind and on his hands, but cannot stop himself from suffocating the madame.
No! Let go of me, beast! Farewell, happy fields, where joy forever dwells. Hail Horus, hail infernal world, and thou profoundest hell, receive thy new possessor!
Yates is eventually forced to give up the struggle, and Madame B stops moving too. He wipes away bitter tears.
I only wanted to talk to an old dead Fenian. I understand. Death itself has visited.
Yet the madame has not given up. With a mighty push, she removes the cushion from her face. She sits up.
Oh, I've not even stopped breathing, and you're already almost writing a poem. Break from his mind control.
She slaps Yates in the chops. Once. Twice. 3 times. He falls back on the floor, released from Crowley's grip of his mind. She stands, goes to the table, takes the candle, and burns the Ouija board paper to a crisp. Crowley doubles in pain.
Ow!
The purple light disappears and Crowley exits, howling. Yates's hands are his own again. He stares at them. The madame helps Yates up, brings him to his seat. He sits, looking a broken man.
Madame, I am so sorry.
Oh, whatever for? That was my most exciting seance this week. Oh,
Why indulge men like this beast?
I enjoy friendly fights with mage. It keeps my mind strong.
Friendly? You'd have had you killed and me ruined in the process. This astral projectioneering is not nearly as solid as it sounds.
Tonight, you simply looked in the wrong place to find inspiration for your poetry.
Perhaps, but I blame Crowley entirely. Let me tell you, I will react in the right manner.
Oh, how so? A magical bottle?
No. A strongly worded letter to the occult times.
Oh, yes, that will work. Now, Shall I book you in for regular session?
Yates looks incredibly disturbed by this notion. Lights down. Scene 2. 15 years later, Georgie Hyde-Lees stands in the centre of the Golden Dawn's colourful octagon-shaped vault of the Adepti, or temple, wearing a ceremonial black gown. We hear murmurs from unseen elders. A bell rings. We plunge into darkness. A long beat, then lights up. Willie Yates has materialised behind her in ceremonial gown with his chest exposed. He carries a dagger and a wine chalice. She notices his bare chest.
Oh, hello, Mr. Yates. Are you cold?
No. A little, maybe. Position, please, Georgie.
Georgie strikes a dramatic pose, bending forward and looking upwards as if being swooped upon from above. Willie dips the dagger into the chalice, holds the blade above her head. He drips wine onto her lips. Awkwardly, she drinks in the wine, but then starts to choke and cough on the droplets, totally ruining the atmosphere.
Sorry. God. I mean, Satan, forgive me.
You're grand, Georgie, you're grand. Just cough it up like a furball, and breathe.
Thank you.
Good woman yourself there.
Oh, I'm not you too. Oh, yes. I solemnly promise to persevere with courage and determination in the labours of the divine science. If I break my magical obligations, I submit myself, by my own consent, to the stream of power set in motion by the divine guardians of this Order of the Golden Dawn.
In the vault of the Adepti, I, Mage William Butler Yates, welcome you, Mage Georgie Hyde-Lees, into the everlasting embrace of the inner sanctum of the Golden Dawn.
Georgie beams. He pours the rest of the wine in sips into her mouth without further incident, after which they both do a complicated bow and special handshake. Lights down. A long beat. Then lights up. We hear tinkling glasses and polite chatter at the after-party. Willie, now with a shirt on his back, hands Georgie a glass of wine. She wears a fashionable bright dress rather than the robe.
Well, I trust you won't choke to death on this little snifter.
I might. I normally don't indulge too much. My father put me off.
Ah, a Puritan.
No, a raging alcoholic.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed about earlier. I practiced drinking from a dagger in my bedroom for weeks. Well, with milk and a spoon. I dripped it onto my face until I almost went blind.
You got no reason to be embarrassed. I don't agree with the solemnity that surrounds what should be a celebratory occasion, but you know Mathers, he insists, and he is, as we discussed before, a
miserable old bugger.
Yeah, so, do you feel differently?
With you at my side, I felt divine.
Yes, quite. You will witness life so vividly that you will become simply a seeing eye and a hearing ear, and all your thinking powers will fade away. And then conversely, you'll feel a sense of being more alive than ever before. Yes, nothing is successful in life unless you have a sense of being more alive than ever before. Do you understand?
I do. It's like falling in love.
Love. That's in the halfpenny place compared. You see, excuse me, the editor of the Occult Times is making for the door. I must speak to him. He refused one of my articles for poor spelling, of all things.
Well, I can correct it for you, if you want. Your spelling.
It's my spelling. That's the way I spell, yeah? He needs to come to terms with it.
Georgie steps closer to stall him.
He called me George, a man's name, the same editor, in print, when the Occult Times published a letter of mine, the first I've ever had published. Yes, I was casting a horary chart and wanted to know the exact time of birth of several historical figures.
Oh, which ones?
Wolfe Tone, Daniel O'Connell, Lord Frederick Cavendish, Charles Stuart Parnell, Lord Edward Fitzgerald, Isaac Butt, William Pitt, Cardinal Antonelli, Rousseau, Pope Leo XIII, Pope Pius IX, Pierce, Connolly, Larkin, and Napoleon.
I see. And how many replies did you receive?
None.
Oh. Napoleon was born at 4:30 on a Tuesday.
Fascinating. I remember that.
Well, I must take my leave of you, Georgie. Perhaps I'll see you at your mother's house for tea, if Nellie will invite me, of course.
How about a nice séance together?
A séance? Oh, yeah, of course. A séance would be lovely. There's nothing I enjoy more than a lovely séance.
Thank you. When? Tomorrow?
No. On my return to London, perhaps, I have to travel to Paris with Isolde for a series of lectures.
Isolde gone? She is,
Beautiful. Yes, I know. Oh, so beautiful.
She is Maud's daughter, I meant to say. Maud is your...
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, impossibly beautiful. I mean, men literally cannot catch their breath in the streets.
How splendid. I meant to ask, will Maud be with you? As mothers do like to chaperone their daughters.
No. It's Isolde and me alone.
Splendid.
We'll see. She can be awfully tiresome. Yeah. Sometimes, when we're together, all I want to do is just tan that backside of hers.
Splendid.
Yeah, well, goodbye, Georgie.
Thank you, Mr. Yates.
Oh, no, please. Willie.
Goodbye, Willie. See you at a nice séance soon.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Yates stomps away. She waves after him.
Tread softly, for you tread on my dreams.
Scene 3. One moment later at a doorway at the same party, we hear the same sounds of clinking glasses and background chatter. Yates approaches the editor with whom he wishes to discuss spellings. The man is facing upstage, face obscured from view.
Sir, I'd like to discuss the article I submitted to your publication.
The man turns, but it's not the editor, it's Alistair Crowley.
Hello, Yates. Frightful to see you.
Crowley? But I made a beeline for the editor.
And somehow you've ended up with me. Lucky you.
You ratbag, Crowley. Don't know what type of stunt you pulled here, but I do know you're not allowed within 100 feet of the offices of the Golden Dawn.
Oh, well, in that case.
The men are suddenly plunged into darkness. The party atmosphere is cut short. Lights up on the two men on a bare stage.
We're beyond time and space, which I believe is over 100 feet from the Blythe Road. Better, Yates?
What is this? Astral Projectioneering?
Astral Projectioneering is for children. And transfigure-omographing.
Gobshite.
Hark with your own eyes. I leapt into another man's body, that editor chappie, what's his name, and transfigured his doughy chops into my Daniel Boone-esque visage. Further, I have transported us to another realm, where travel between different eras, universes, and grocery shops is achievable lickety-split as fast as a tandem bicycle and then some. The last bit is the mographing.
I'm not impressed with your cheap parlor tricks.
Cheap parlor tricks? Well, I'd like to see you try it.
I could, easily. Only I have neither the time nor the inclination, not with all my poetry readings, publishing opportunities, and young lady admirers to attend to. So now, I'll thank you to unmake this spell and place me back on the earthly plane. I'm dining with my good friend Olivia Shakespeare this afternoon, and being outside of time is no excuse to keep a lady waiting.
Oh, impeccable manners, I must say. Maybe that's what the ladies see in you, because it couldn't have anything to do with the drivel that you write. Speaking of misguided young women, I see that you indoctrinated one into your cult today. What do you think of her?
Mind your own beeswax.
I can literally wait several lifetimes.
Her name was Georgie.
She made no impression beyond her first name.
And Georgie made an impression, I can assure you. She's an intelligent woman. Comely. Well-heeled. Good stock. Good taste, too.
Let me warn you that to enter into a bond with this woman would be a terrible mistake.
Really? Would my choosing the wrong partner in marriage not fill you with pleasure?
I am as uninterested in your marital fortunes as I would be in a dung beetle's marital fortunes. My interest here lies in not seeing a delightful young woman's life ruined by a creepy old gongoozler.
How dare you? I've never gongoozled a woman in my life.
Oh, you gongoozle. I've seen you gongoozle.
Enough. Why such concern for this particular woman?
Not for one moment have I designs on Georgie Hyde-Lees, if that is what you are suggesting. I merely wish to serve as her protector, like any good citizen would in the face of you.
Well, you should be talking to her, then.
I would. Only my reputation can frighten the fairer sex. That's not to say that the ladies don't love a scoundrel, as you know from all the women you've lost to them over the years. None more so than Maughan, of course.
Yates is startled at the name. Crowley smiles darkly, waves his hands, and the room goes pitch black for a moment. The lights come up on 2 chairs in a drawing room. The men watch as Maughan enters, a statuesque beauty with a sad, regal smile, dressed in black. She sits and waits. Yates is transfixed. However, she cannot see Yates or Crowley.
No, I don't believe what I'm seeing.
Oh, yes, I know all about your great muse, the Irish Joan of Arc, seen here during one of her early visits to your home.
Yates goes to Maud, but she remains in her thoughts.
Maud? Maud! Let me speak to her, damn you!
Oh, such passion, such ardour. But why, Yates? Yes, Maughan fought for Irish Home Rule, the suffragettes and the Republican Revolution, but never for a life with you.
You know nothing of our relationship.
Because there's nothing to tell that doesn't take place only in your fevered mind. Tell me, how many times has she turned down your proposals of marriage? No, don't answer. We'll need an abacus. Listen to me. I will give you the chance to propose to her again, this time forearmed with a crucial piece of knowledge. Before meeting you, Maughan had a secret liaison in which she gave birth to a child she unfortunately lost.
No. I heard rumors, but never did I believe that.
If you had believed, you could have helped her achieve the one thing that she wanted more than anything else in the world, the return of her child.
I wouldn't know how to perform such an unnatural feat.
Of course you wouldn't know, having for some reason decided to spend more time worrying about spellings rather than casting spells. However, your ghastly pal Mathers in the Golden Dawn could help with the reincarnation spell, no doubt.
What are you saying, Crowley? You can take me back in time, so I can propose to her once more in first flush.
Yes. Return, succeed in your proposal, and thus avoid ruining the life of Georgie Hyde-Lees. To carry this off, you need to remember yourself at the moment in your life when she would visit you at the beginning of your friendship. Can you remember how this felt?
When Maughan walked into my house in Bedford Park, the troubling of my life began. I'd never thought to see in a living woman such great beauty. It belonged to famous pictures, to poetry, to some legendary past. A statue so great that she seemed of a divine race.
So you fancied her then?
No, not just I. The entire island of Ireland fancied her. They thought her a goddess. And she did nothing to dispel that notion.
Fine. I think you are ready to return. Is that so?
Yes.
So be it. If you succeed, your life begins again from this point forward. Try to act surprised when reliving it.
And if I fail?
I'll drop you back to your house afterwards.
She would see me as I was.
Indeed. I'll simply transfigure your old, floppy self into your younger body.
Yeah, all right. Just get on with it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Hand wave it away. I mean, it's oh so easy to do.
Crowley makes magician-y hand gestures in Yates's face and exits. Willie sits, immediately acting 10 years younger and much more angsty, running his hands through his hair and talking urgently.
Maud, it's me.
Oh, Willie, where have you been? Are you ill in the head?
No. Why'd you ask?
You were supposed to meet me off the mailboat this morning. You seem to be physically well, so I presume you've had a head episode.
Apologies. Maud, why are you dressed in black?
I'm in mourning, of course.
For whom, Maud? Please tell me.
Willie, you are ill in the head. The boat was not only carrying me back to Ireland, but also the body of Charles Stuart Parnell.
Oh, yes!
Hardly a call for exclamations of glee, I should think. Our greatest parliamentarian dropping dead from pneumonia at 45.
I remember, I should say. And yes, it's a tragedy. I fear bloodshed is inevitable in the absence of his political skill.
Bloodshed was inevitable after strangers arrived on this island to murder the likes of Emmett, Fitzgerald and Tone, while we sat there like an audience watching events on a stage. The time has come for revolution.
Maud, I've learnt that nothing great comes out of hatred and bitterness. And have you forgotten that you yourself are English-born?
And you began life as an uncouth product of the Irish provinces. But let's not waste the day throwing barbs at one another. A worse tragedy, my dear Willie, is that Parnell died in his wife's arms after only a few hours of married life together. Kitty O'Shea must live out the rest of her days alone.
Now, my love, you are not alone. I waited at the docks, but then the crowds arrived and I had to leave. You know how I hate crowds.
Is that why you insist on such small audiences for your poetry readings?
Yes. But that won't always be the case, I assure you.
Oh, Willie, so sensitive and timid. Myself, I love a wild mob. Indeed, I followed Parnell's supporters to the funeral, and I'm glad that I did, because I saw a strange, magical thing occur, just as Parnell's casket was lowered into the ground. A star fell. In broad daylight, the sky was bright with strange lights and flames, like heaven on fire.
A coincidence, possibly?
I state it as a fact, Willie. Thousands witnessed the star fall.
Well, thousands of fervent, grieving followers. Was it a collective hallucination or an actual event?
You so want to be a broad-minded Catholic like me, don't you? And you actually believe in the supernatural events that you spend your life trying to witness. But your rational Protestant mind won't let you will it. You are at war with yourself, like America was.
You are a convert to Catholicism, lest you forget. but I agree that persons not superstitious have maintained that there is some mysterious sympathy between the human soul and the elements. I've simply never witnessed anything like it myself.
You cannot force these things. You have to leave yourself open for them at all times.
Supernatural events can be forced, Maud. The Golden Dawn can teach you how, and this includes reincarnation.
Then you must take me to join.
Yes, I will.
And I will raise Emmett and Fitzgerald and Tone.
Seriously, indulge me. Who else would you raise if you could? Somebody who was close to you, perhaps?
No, Willie. It can't be done.
How can you be so certain?
Because I already engaged the Golden Dawn to try this on somebody close. Mathers himself cast the spell and failed miserably. No more questions now, really. I cannot take it.
I'm so sorry. Maud, I'm so sorry. Oh!
Weak at the knees, eh? There's no shame in it. Many men collapse to the ground at the sight of me. It's my cross to bear.
Oh, no. I'm on my knees for a different reason.
Oh, no.
Please, Maud, marry me.
Give me time to think it over.
How much time do you need?
Right, I've thought about it, and I'm sorry, dear Willie, but no.
No, give me one good reason why not.
I have a morbid fear of sex.
With me alone?
Yes.
Oh, God.
I don't mean to hurt you. Simply I want this painful moment to end for both of us. Please, get up.
No, I will remain down here until you say yes.
Don't be childish, Willie.
I'm not a child.
She walks away. He follows, waddling ahead quickly to block her path.
Then be a man if you can. Get to your feet, Willie.
I can't, because my knees are...
She pulls him up.
You are a man, of course. A man of letters.
Why can't you give up your tragic struggle? Eh? You've done more than 1,000 people combined for this nation. I could make such a beautiful life for you among artists and writers who would understand you.
Marriage is a tragic struggle too. And you should thank the gods that I will not marry you. You would not be happy with me.
I'm not happy without you.
Oh, yes, you are. Because you make beautiful poetry out of what you call your unhappiness. And you are happy in that. The world should thank me for not marrying you. Poets should never marry.
I would give it all up for you, so.
Then what would you be?
Willie, just plain old Willie.
Who wants a plain old Willie? Besides, didn't we say that we would always have a spiritual union?
I want more.
I cannot give it to you now. I'm sorry, I must go.
To where? Your lodgings for a nap? I can accompany you if
To
you...
meet the French. I'm masterminding a caper with Boer agents to plant explosives in the coal bunker of an English troop ship on its way to Cape Town. And I need their approval.
Yes, well, you could do that. Or you could join the cut and thrust of my poetry writers' circle every second Tuesday with homemade lemon cake all around.
Poor Willie.
She kisses his forehead.
Goodbye, my dear.
She exits. Yates looks after her, heartbroken. Crowley reappears in a panic.
Quick, we have to move to stop the coal bunker plot.
This from the self-styled wickedest man in the world.
Not self-styled. My mother gave me that nickname. And even I draw the line blowing ships to smithereens. Women like her should be...
What? Locked up?
At home crocheting. Come on, we're off to the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm hardly dressed for the Atlantic Ocean, and besides, it didn't happen.
I beg your pardon?
The coal bunker plot. Maud didn't blow that ship to smithereens.
Ah, right. She is delusional, psychotic, thank goodness.
No. French military intelligence deemed the plan too risky for them. So instead, the Boers gave her £2,000 to fight the British in Ireland.
Huh. All's well that ends well.
No, not exactly. A parliamentarian stole that money and the Irish Republican Brotherhood threatened to kill him. Thankfully, I was able to intercede on his behalf while Maud repaired to County Kerry.
To keep her head down, I should think.
No, where she tried to incite starving tenants to kill their landlords and raid the food stores. That failed too, but still, God loves a trier. You know what the Irish call a woman like Maud?
I can't imagine.
Quite the character. You can see now why I love her so deeply.
Well, I gave you everything you needed to convince her to marry you. And there you are, waddling around like a badly dressed duck.
she'd already tried your reincarnation gambit with no success. And sometimes love can be like a rhyme that won't come. You can't bludgeon it. You have to leave it alone. And then one day, if you're lucky, when you least expect it, it clicks.
I sincerely hope so. Now, let us leave this time in case we bump into her again, because I don't mind admitting that Maughan scares the living daylights out of me.
We are plunged into darkness. Lights up on an empty stage. Yates is left on a lonely roadside with the wind whistling and a signpost reading London, 10 miles.
Your house is that way, as the crow flies?
Hey, you promised to take me home!
I'm not a bloody cabbie, as if you ever have the ready cash for one anyway.
A disgruntled Yates turns up his collar for the long walk home and exits. Scene 4. 6 months later, late at night, at a residence in Kensington, London, Nellie Hyde-Lees, Georgie's mother, is asleep, sitting up on the drawing room sofa. There is a table in front of her and a drinks trolley nearby. The curtains are drawn. Georgie enters.
Georgie? Georgie, is that you?
Yes, Mother, but you are dreaming.
I am not dreaming. If I were dreaming, I would not be so vexed. I would be relaxed and smiling. Do I look relaxed and smiling?
For you, yes.
You're too clever for your own good. What time do you call this?
What is time, Mother?
Oh, do not get philosophical with me, young lady. It is way past midnight.
Apologies. When is the proper time to get philosophical?
I am serious, Georgie.
You have no need to be serious, Mother. You should return immediately to being jolly and gay in your sleep. The séance started at midnight. It would have been impossible not to arrive home after that hour.
Oh, you and your séances, upon my word. Do I not surround you with enough interesting people that you have to invite the dead into your life too?
I wanted to commune with Grandfather Woodmass. He said hello.
Well, that was worth the donation.
He said more. His message was, I had to turn one way or the other.
What does that mean? Life is nothing but turning one way or the other. Every day is decisions either made or not made.
Remember, dear Dorothy, I didn't do anything!
Yet my life is in ruins!
Nellie pours Georgie a drink, who sits with her.
Be warned. My dear father didn't advise me well, especially when I was on the cusp of marriage. I had many suitors, and his process for making decisions was highly individualistic, to say the least. He liked your father over another because, he said, I don't trust a man who doesn't drink.
He had great faith in unreconstructed alcoholics.
Hear, hear.
Chin chin.
With whom did you attend the séance? William?
Yes.
I see. I wonder what motivates a middle-aged poet to have such a passion for esoteric frivolity. I suspect the whole enterprise is a way for him to easily meet naive young women.
Oh, I should, Coco.
English in this house, please.
I disagree, Mother dearest. One will meet more matronly mediums than young women while hanging on the word of spirits.
Yet William has met you.
We have a common interest in the spiritual world. And I can assure you that Willie's interest in that world is genuine. Highly infectious, in fact. He's like an excitable young boy when he talks about it. As for his reasons, I imagine that he's looking for some kind of solid basis for his writings about the supernatural. He wants to investigate whether the spiritual world is actual or whether he's bloody well wasting his time.
Like most big decisions in life, I suspect he will have to take a leap of faith on this matter too. Oh, who is at the door at this hour?
Grandfather Woodmass.
Please, Georgie. This is William, isn't it?
Correct.
I see. Finally, he wants my permission to marry you.
No, he's made no indications in that direction.
Well, if he thinks he's getting you likely, he's got another think coming.
Mother,
I'm serious, Georgie. In the absence of your father, it falls to me to ward you when suitors call. He needs to hear somebody tell him, I have got my eye on you, as the Skibbereen eagle said to the Tsar of Russia.
Mother, that's not the question he will ask. There's no need to invoke the Tsar of Russia.
Calm yourself, Georgie. Then what is he going to ask of me?
You will see.
Well, if he means to ask for cab fare.
He will not ask you for cab fare. Well, he might also ask you for cab fare.
I'm coming.
She exits. We can hear pleasantries being exchanged. Georgie becomes anxious. She gulps down her drink and Nellie's. Nellie re-enters with Yates, who carries a large wooden box.
How is dear Mr. Yates?
Oh, I'm grand, thank you.
I meant your father.
Oh, yeah, he's in good health. He's in the process of finishing his latest portrait.
Oh, I would love to see it when I next visit Ireland.
Well, I should say he's in the process of finishing his latest portrait for the past 5 years.
Don't book passage just yet.
A drink for William.
Georgie fixes a drink. Yates puts the box on the table and sits.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Oh, yes. Great. That's grand. A thousand apologies for the lateness of the hour. I promise I won't keep you long. I simply could not contain myself for another day.
Yes, Georgie explained that you have a question. An important one.
Oh, yes. Vitally important.
Oh, please, take your time.
Thank you. Before I ask my question, I need to show you something, okay? Something I think is the greatest discovery of the modern world.
I will also need a drink, Georgie. A large one.
Georgie fixes her one. Yates stands, launching into a sales pitch.
You are aware, of course, that mediums engage with spirits from the other side.
I am aware of people who purport to be mediums, yes. But I am surprised that you mentioned them. The rumour is that you are terrified of mediums and prefer to sit in the back of the room taking notes.
Discount that rumour, Nellie. I'm a grown man, no longer frightened by mediums. For 6 months now. With the help of Georgie, I have rid myself of the fear of taking part in seances. Now, consider a medium such as Elizabeth Radcliffe, an automatic writer of great renown who proclaimed to know the facts about the suicide of a London policeman that never made the press.
Willie inquired through contacts in Scotland Yard and found it to be true.
But could she not have heard it from an acquaintance while at the butcher's? Or from a neighbour in the backyard while attending to her washing line?
Listen, Mother, please.
No, Georgie, it's fine. Exactly, Nellie. A rational explanation is entirely possible. What's more, young Miss Radcliffe is popular. There's a long waiting list to see any famed spirit medium. However, famed or no, 99 out of 100 mediums aren't worth sitting in the hallway with the servants for. That is, unless you find the 1 in 100. And Nellie, I have found the 1 in 100.
He opens the box, takes out a cockeyed steampunk head made of metal, which sits on shoulders that house various levers, pumps and buttons. The main attachable feature is a hosepipe sticking out of the metal man's mouth, the other end of which is placed at the recipient's ear, as we will see.
Meet Homunculus Metallicus, the metal medium, invented by my new business partner, David Wilson.
Wilson, the half-crazed chemist?
He is a chemist, yes, but hardly half-crazed. Wilson was an assistant to Nobel Prize winner Sir William Crookes before he left to become a part-time solicitor and inventor.
Oh, a thoroughly natural career progression. What does it do, William?
Homunculus Metallicus constitutes a kind of ear hole into the nether regions.
Unknown regions. It receives and amplifies voices from the spirit world.
Oh.
We have just returned from a seance with an independent arbiter, The Persian scholar, Dr. Ed Ross.
E.D. Ross.
Sorry, I'm nervous. I'm hoping to raise enough money for Wilson to help him mass produce this device so everybody in England, no, the world over, can have one in their own home. A homunculus metallicus on every writing bureau. That's my motto. It gives me butterflies to think about it.
It would give others worse. So this is an impromptu midnight selling pitch.
It won't be a bore, Mother.
I can guess your question. Can I give my answer now?
Best to be amazed by the metal medium first.
Can I ask the thing a question then?
By all means.
Grandfather Woodmass, are you there? Georgie wants to know if she should decide to make decisions in life or not.
Mother!
No. That's fine. Homunculus metallicus. It's Yates. Willie Yates. What say you? Can you search and commune with the grandfather Woodmass? There's nothing yet.
Are the waters stirring?
Oh, yes. Let's give him a moment.
Do you want to adjust the pump and the lever?
No, thanks, Georgie. No. Homunculus metallicus. Answer me. It's Yates, Willie Yates. Let's be hearing from you. Mm-hmm. Come on, man, come on. We were chatting away like old friends not 2 hours ago.
Did Wilson relay the metal man's words to you?
Yes, exactly.
I see.
Come on, man. Come on, you bally fool. Come on. This is serious. Come on, this is your future we're talking about here. Come on.
Perhaps another question, lest you damage its metal brain.
Could it be damaged further? When will Jack Yates finish his latest portrait?
Sorry, there's no answer.
Yes, Jack will never be finished, that's correct.
Can I ask how the test went with Dr. Ross?
Let me explain, Willie.
Yes, please. You've got a great head for the science of it. Oh.
Mr. Wilson sat with the rubber hose placed at his ear. Mind you, his demeanour was that of somebody thinking rather than listening. Dr. Ross asked a question about a dead relative, and Wilson said, "Now, the translation might not be 100% accurate owing to the alterations in the machine, but this is what I'm hearing. Tob, I, nish, pur, pi, ran, ra, mad, bazook, bala, bashi, bazook, I.
What did Dr. Ross think of this?
He assured us that so far this could be transformed into words.
Oh, a successful start.
Then Wilson spat out, oof, the compassionate and the merciful. I, salusa tabushi, tob. Dr. Ross said this sounded Turkish and asked the metal man, "Do you know Turkish?" And then Wilson relayed the metal man's reply. Ski, pip, Jessie, the excellent one.
Ha! Perfectly actionable advice.
Yes, the mixture of languages and the want of continuity in the message became troublesome, so I proposed to clean the room with my magical symbols.
Oh, Mother. While Willie was doing this, Ross asked the metal medium, "Are you the excellent one?" And Wilson relayed the message from old homunculus metallicus, who seemed a tad put out. "You know if not that the excellent one, you whose name may not be branded upon a camel's neck!" Followed by some old nonsense about the Rev Augustus bun.
Ellie hoots. Yates puts his head in his hands. He realises to his extreme embarrassment that he has been hoodwinked by a charlatan.
After this, Dr. Ross and I were invited to look through the eye, but could see nothing. I asked Wilson to explain his methodology. He replied sometimes he actually heard a voice and that other times he guessed part of the message.
Sounds most scientific. I wonder if he demonstrated his invention to Crookes, the Nobel Prize winner, first. That would certainly explain why he works as a part-time solicitor now. Willie, Do you still want to ask your question?
Well, you've seen it in action. Would you like to invest?
If you mean to market your metal man as something that communes with spirits, no. But as a vaudeville act, it has marvellous potential.
Yes, I see your point.
Oh, Willie, never mind.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask while you're here?
Oh, can you please spot me some cab fare? The mail boat with my postal order was blown to smithereens.
Oh, of course. Georgie, please, I think it's time for your bed.
I'm not a child.
Let me talk to Willie alone.
Mother.
I'll see you soon, Georgie.
Fine. Take care, Willie.
Yates gathers up his metal medium and puts it back in its box, likely forever.
There you go.
Sit down, William.
Huh? Oh.
How many years have I known you?
Manny.
20. And I have been cool with you only lately, and for good reason.
Why is that?
You are a zeppelin hovering over several women's houses, William. If this continues, I'd rather you dropped your bomb on somebody else's.
Rest assured, I would do nothing to hurt Georgie and would never drop a bomb on your home. Besides, you Hydleys move so often, it'd be hard to know which house to target.
Oh, have choice. We Hydleys don't like to be tied down. We like to be at the centre of things. Although I feel the centre would not hold if you continue to be nothing but a gentleman caller. Tell me, is it true that you are making a home in Ireland?
Yes, I am restoring an enchanting little tower in Ballylee, County Galway.
And you will be needing a wife to be part of the furniture, no doubt.
I've been so busy on the restoration and everything else, I haven't had time to think much about marriage. I perhaps have to restore myself first.
I'll say, because you would give any sensible woman several good reasons to not countenance any such entreaty.
I see. What good reasons?
For one, like an old dragon, you would be locking the poor woman away in a tower with nothing to do but cook, clean, and bring you gossip from the neighbours. Not to mention harbour those on the run from the British Army.
I cannot guess who you're talking about, Nellie. For many years, I did not agree with the rebellion. And while my feelings have changed in recent times, I don't think a little tower would be the best hiding place for Brotherhood men on the run.
Oh, it's not a Brotherhood man that concerns me. Which leads me to my second good reason. Any potential wife would have to put up with your continued connection to the oh-so-great revolutionary Maughan.
Maud is my friend. That is all.
Also, Georgie has an important job here in London, nursing for the Red Cross, where she damn near lost a hand. She deals with horrors on a daily basis that will haunt her for a lifetime. Men without eyes, without faces, stumps for limbs. All preferable to marrying a man about town or a man about several towns and 2 or 3 major cities, if word is to be believed.
Nellie, I did not come here to be insulted. I have my good friend Lady Gregory for that. And I've not come here to ask for anything from you other than for you to invest in this damnable thing. And for that cab fare.
Of course.
Thank you. Well, the man and his horse outside must be brass monkeys at this point. Nellie, I am sorry to have worried you over Georgie. The truth is, I am extremely fond of her, and I don't want to hurt her, like I've been hurt. I want to be a good person, and under her influence, I know that I would be. But I feared the influence that I would have on her pristine heart.
Well, that is not a bad way for a man to feel, William. I am glad to hear it. Truly I am.
Thank you, Nellie. I'm not the man about town that you imagine, either. I've reached my 50s and do not like it. I keep thinking of all the follies that I've committed not to have somebody to talk to after nightfall or in the morning when I wake. And a mistress cannot give one a home. I know that.
I speak to Georgie every day. And every day she speaks about you. Oh, she sees your imperfections. She's attracted to you in the way that children of an alcoholic parent often are to their marriage partners, because she sees you as somebody who desperately needs caring for. She sees how easily she can fit into a life of imperfection without ever once contemplating another type of life altogether.
I didn't know you were an alcoholic, Nellie.
Oh, not me. Her father. God rest his soul.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, only many years ago, I was promised in prophecy a wife who would be completely in simpatico with me. And I received a stark warning to treat her with respect and as an equal, which I fully intend to do.
And who is this prophesied woman? I mean, you have asked Maughan to marry and were shot down. I hear also that you have asked her daughter Iseult, and she has shot you down too. There's executed leaders of the Irish rebellion with fewer holes in them.
Nellie, that is an outrageous statement.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be crude or insensitive, but I'm anxious to know, do you know who this woman is? In your own heart?
Before, I was never sure to which woman the prophecy was referring. I never did trust the prophesier, and I've learnt the hard way that I should not get ahead of myself.
I understand. You mentioned that you still correspond with Lady Gregory.
Yes, always.
Well, you should write to her on the topic of marriage as a matter of urgency. I wager that she interprets your feelings better than any other, including yourself.
She does. I will write to her.
Then we will wait until she brings in her verdict. Safe home, William.
Thank you. Thank you, Nellie.
Georgie re-enters in a housecoat.
Oh, I should have stayed asleep.
Thank you for listening to him.
Well, I listened to him and his metal medium, although the latter was less than forthcoming. Dear me, haven't you outdone yourself now? The most celebrated poet on these islands with a talent for romance, and only 25 years your senior.
What did you say to him?
Simply, I gave him his advice. Now I want to give you yours. Or would you rather listen to the dead than your own mother?
Advise me then. But can I first say, you taught me to love poets.
Oh, to love poetry, not poets. Poets are human beings who feel life more deeply than others. And while they're busy feeling deep, they need somebody else to help them dress, feed, bathe, and maintain a clean backside.
I can help most with the work, the great work.
Oh, wait. Do you think you will become a muse?
Why not?
Because as we both know, William Butler Yeats is an occultist to the bone, steeped in it for a quarter of a century and more, and with the best will in the world, you are a tourist to darkness. His longtime muse, Maud, she's lived there for much of her life. Let me tell you something that very few know about Maughan. That woman had a child out of wedlock with a French lover. A baby boy who sadly died, and what did she do? Only persuaded the father, a man from whom she since separated, to make love to her one last time on their son's grave, because she believed the spirit of the dead boy would enter the life force of the child she was desperate to conceive. And indeed a child was conceived from that reunion on that night, on that gravestone. Yes, that's the kind of madness that Yates looks for in his muses. And by the way, that child is Iseult, who Yates also adores.
As a daughter?
My point being, talking to ceilings and reading old dusty books does not a muse make. The Gone Woman is also the most popular actor in Yates's theatre in Dublin, and she fights for the Republican cause and spies on her own government for the Irish. What's not to like?
They're old friends, that's it.
Oh, friends indeed. Don't you read his poetry? Oh, he's put everything into the great work. Everything, including his liaison with my sister-in-law, Olivia.
That was many years ago.
And what has changed? Listen to the poem.
I don't like the romantic poems anymore. They're not important works.
Oh, no, not important to anyone. That's why everyone falls to their feet before him in drawing rooms all over these islands.
Not important to me, then.
Oh. How does the Olivia poem go again? Pale brows, still hands and dim hair. I had a beautiful friend.
Stop.
No, you love to tease me. Taste your own medicine.
No!
And dreamed that the old despair would end in love in the end. She looked into my heart one day.
Stop, I said.
And saw your image was there. She has gone weeping away. Listen to me. The verse reflects exactly what happened. Olivia did indeed discover that William was still in love with the Gone Woman and was forced to leave him. Do you think that image is worn clean away after attending a few jaunty seances with you? I fear it isn't. And you should be sure it isn't before you contemplate marrying him.
That was then. This is now. I can be his muse, and a muse can inspire anything in a man, no matter the baggage.
Not if you're his wife. Wives are not muses. They are mothers who men sleep with. That's what the doctors in Austria are saying now, at any rate. It's a twisted old world.
And you wonder why I spend my days trying to escape to another.
Women cannot afford missteps like a man. You can dance like a drunken leprechaun through their lives with little or no repercussions, but no, not a woman. You don't want to make your life infinitely harder with a giant misstep now.
You made your life harder with your choice.
I had no choice with your father. Those were the times.
I have no choice either.
Nonsense. This is a new century, and you are a young woman, rich, with beautiful taste in clothing and art, and as comely as a goddess.
I did not choose him. My heart did. I simply have to act in support of this overpowering feeling or forever be berated by my conscience.
There are many men who would want you.
There is only one man who truly needs me.
You won't be able to sit on the stairs then, listening to the adults. You must join the fray.
I am ready.
I hope your battle plan is drawn.
Love is not a battle, Mother.
No, you're correct. It's a war. A great war. And as with many great wars, plans can go right out of the window as soon as it starts.
She kisses her mother, gets up and ascends the stairs. She turns back.
I didn't do anything!
Yet my life is in ruins.
And that's the end of the first act, so we're going to take a 10-minute break here. We'll be back at around 6:27. Thank you. Act 2, Scene 1. 6 weeks later, late evening, in a hotel room in Ashdown Forest, Sussex. Luggage is on the floor in front of the bed, and in the furthest corner from the door is a desk, chair, and unlit lamp. A large window lets in the fading evening light. Willie and Georgie enter, just married.
Oh, God, that truly was a brisk walk there. I'm frozen.
The bed looks warm.
Yeah, indeed.
He crosses to the opposite end of the room.
I have a question.
Yes, dear.
What sort of oil should I put in the lamp?
The paraffin lamp?
Yes, the paraffin lamp.
Why, paraffin oil, of course. What do you think you put in it? Beard oil?
If I knew, I would not have asked.
Let me do it.
Thank you.
So your true question was, can you light the lamp?
Your anticipatory nature is going to make you a very good wife for me.
Georgie puts oil in the lamp and illuminates the room. He sits at the desk. Georgie unpacks clothing throughout the following exchange.
What were you reading so intently on the train earlier?
3 love letters from Goethe to Anna Louise Karsh. He wrote to her in 1755, 56, and 57. He visited her eventually in 1758, after which she wrote him a poem. She must have enjoyed his visit.
Well, she must have indeed. A poem is not an easy thing to write.
Karsh was quite a formidable woman. She arranged to have her abusive husband pressed into the Prussian army, and that gave her the freedom to write and to accept visits from lovers in 1758.
If only Maud had pressed her abusive husband into the Prussian army.
And what difference would that have made to our lives?
None. Speaking of Maud, her daughter Isolde likes you very much, and Isolde does not take to everybody. She only takes to herself up to a certain point. But she's sure that you and I will be very happy.
How nice. Oh, what a beautiful room. Perfect choice for our honeymoon.
Yeah, she is. Yes.
Room. This room.
What about it?
It's beautiful. I'm so happy that we took time to seclude ourselves away in the English countryside.
Yes. Yeah. I have noticed, though, that Isolde judges badly when she uses her intellect.
Very well appointed.
She judges subtly and truly when she uses her intuition and sympathy.
Which part of her constitution did she use to turn down your marriage proposal? Intellect or intuition and sympathy?
Now, Georgie, if your question is serious...
I've never been more so.
Well, her intellect, I presumed at the time.
I would have thought it her intuition and sympathy.
Really?
Yes. Did her face flush?
Not that I noticed.
Oh, well then.
Well then what, Georgie?
A woman's face flushes bright red when she's using the full capacity of her intellect.
I'm sorry, but much of my work is driven by desire. Such poems are amongst my most popular.
So you seek out flirtations with younger women for the greater good?
Friendships, ultimately. Not flirtations. I like to be around young people. They fit with my progressive way.
And older people?
God, can't stand them.
Luckily for you, I feel differently. Must you write today, of all days?
I must write every day. Poetry, well, it's all about rhythm. And today, I must especially do so, since my publisher is demanding a final poem for the latest collection. Why can't it be as natural as, I don't know, making love?
Yes. That way you'd have done 3 in as many months.
Sorry?
I've never considered the two enterprises side by side in comparison.
I'm sorry for the coarseness, dear.
Don't be. I speak 5 languages, and the first thing I learned was how to swear in all of them.
I speak 1, not even my native tongue. 2, if you include the language of love.
I do. It's high time you converse with me again in that tongue.
I cannot wait.
She goes back to tidying away their clothing. Yates starts to scribble fervently. She notices him stop and read.
Marriage must suit you. You have found a topic quickly.
Indeed I have. I'm writing from my heart to Isolde's.
Isolde?
I can hardly write to you. You're not 5 feet away.
On what topic are you writing, do you mind me asking?
Turmoil. I feel in turmoil, as I did not long ago in France.
What turmoil? You spoke to her, clearing all the air before we married.
And I would speak to her after we are married. She would be my friend forever, as will her mother, as will other women. And like my friends, you can either help me with my work as promised or complain about it.
Please do not be short with me tonight of all nights.
He exits to the ensuite. Yates scribbles. Georgie returns wearing a slip. She ignores him and lies on the bed, staring at the ceiling.
I'm only trying to be transparent with you. Remember, I did not marry Isolde.
Because she knew you were in love with her mother.
No, that was in the years beforehand. There was no overlap between mother and daughter.
Yes, human hearts are so clear-cut in their love affairs.
What kind of man do you think I am?
You are a great poet.
Thank you. You've been a great help. I can see this would truly be a marriage of minds.
You want my help? Read me the lines, sir, and I'll offer you a critique with no holds barred.
Fine. Let's see how good a help you are. Okay. I can exchange opinion with any neighbouring mind. I have as healthy flesh and blood as any rhymer's had. But oh, my heart could bear no more when the upland caught the wind. I ran from my lover's side because my heart went mad. Thank you. Samuel Johnson himself couldn't have provided a more trenchant, shrewd and sensitive reading.
Who does the lover signify in this case?
But of course, Isolde.
You ran from her to me.
Yes. We were walking along a coastline in France when I recognized the dreaded feeling that struck me. The same feeling that had struck me so many years before when I first caught sight of Maughan.
And so you left her?
To avoid being driven mad. Yeah. Georgie, please, you heard what I wrote.
And what am I, if she is your love?
What, my wife?
God, you're so cold.
Me? How so?
And that utterance confirms it. My mother was correct. A wife cannot be a muse. Splendid, splendid.
That's all I hear from you. Yeah. Splendid, splendid, when it isn't. Look, you, write Nellie a letter and tell her the mistake we both made. Yeah?
I don't turn to my mother for instruction on important matters.
Well, to whom will you turn so?
Why, the dead, of course. Allow me to use the desk, please.
Right. Georgie, please.
Ignoring him, she picks up the pages and a pencil and closes her eyes. She starts to write. One page, then another, then another. Each completed page drops to the floor. The lighting in the room changes to a purplish hue to signify a transition in atmosphere to something more otherworldly. Georgie doesn't stop to read a word. It's as if she has entered a deep trance.
Stop, Georgie.
He moves closer, but cannot rouse her.
Georgie, I'm sorry for what I said. All of what I said. Georgie?
No reaction. Yates picks up a page, scans it, picks up other pages, reads more closely.
These are not your words, are they? Speak to me. Have you contacted a spirit? the small bird all is well at heart. Your action was right for both. Is the small bird Isolde? What you have done is right for the cat and the hare. Is that me and you? Ask the spirit, when will I have peace of mind? You will never regret or repine after today. I see. With whom are you communing? My name is Thomas of Derlowitz. I am here for a purpose and must go when that purpose is done. I am here due to her. He knows the Gons. and Lady Gregory and my father and your father and your brother. And he says, the sun must go into the moon twice daily. The sun is masculine and moon female. So he's telling us how often to make love.
Georgie weakens. Her eyes close. She stops writing, slumps a little in her seat. He picks her up, carries her to the bed. Her eyes remain closed. Yates picks up the pages and starts to read more, approvingly. In bed, Georgie opens an eye to see if her plan to intrigue her husband has worked. He turns to her.
With whom were you communing?
An instructor. He called himself from the other side. He's come to help us with our lives.
It says here, and to provide metaphors for his poetry.
That too.
Can you do more automatic writing?
First, we must act on what has been instructed thus far.
Which part?
Sun into the moon, Mr. Yates.
Sun into the moon it is, Mrs. Yates.
They smile. He reaches for her eagerly. They kiss. Lights down. Scene 2. 2 days later in the same room. Yates sits on the bed across from his wife, who is at the desk. They're surrounded by pages and look more dishevelled than before. Georgie is in a trance, both auto-writing and auto-speaking, as the spirit, Thomas. Yates asks questions of him, as if it's the most normal thing in the world.
Thomas, has the number of writing sessions these past few days affected our efforts to conceive an heir, as instructed by you?
Yes. Progress on a child is not very good. Much depends on your physical vitality.
I worry about the possible damaging effects of too much lovemaking, as opposed to my strict regime of masturbation, which is less strenuous, but of course won't produce an heir, alas.
If you are tired 2 days later, once a night is enough. If your fatigue lasts over 2 days, 5 times a week is enough.
5 times a week?
Yes.
Fine. I'm warming to this task. Is there anything else I should do?
Don't eat indiscreetly, or you won't be able to do it more than once a night. And don't waste time theorizing and questioning if the process tires you out for what is important.
Thank you, Thomas.
Gently shakes Georgie out of her trance. She looks confused.
Georgie, yeah. We can stop.
Stop? But, Willie, I haven't yet started.
You've been speaking in a trance for hours. See?
Hours?
We must sleep.
But I have been asleep, as you say. I'm not tired.
Oh, I am. I will just I'll just lay my head on the pillow, just for a moment there.
He lies on the bed. She observes the newly minted automatic writing. There are pages and pages. Yates starts to gently snore. She picks up the pencil again, starts to auto-write and auto-speak, slowly entering into a trance.
Thomas, is this real? Is this lasting? I started these automatic writing sessions to intrigue my husband, but now it's like a superior power has gripped me and is guiding my hand. I mean, I put the words on the page, yet the voice, the cadence, the vocabulary, the syntax, they're not mine.
Enter Crowley under a purple spotlight. Georgie will hear but not see him. She speaks her questions and Crowley answers out loud.
Trust me, the words are very much yours, in the same way that writers invent characters who speak differently from themselves. The real question is, why have you chosen to share these precious words with another at the moment of their birth, especially when the other will choose to share them with the world as his own? Who knows the reason why you give away your hard-won work for a song, or should I say, a poem? Perhaps it's due to you women not having the same opportunity to publish, and therefore your creativity must burst forth from other mediums.
Men are geniuses, not women. Willie is so, not me.
Yes, he will be known for works of genius, after he accesses your intellect and imagination, that is. And you will conceive yourself to live by your Golden Dawn motto, let nobody know, and be happy to go by your Golden Dawn pet name Nemo, or should I say, no one. And that is the best way forward for whom, exactly?
Him.
Indeed. You have truly entered into a marriage of convenience for Yates. But this does not have to extend to the work. You think that he won't look to find other muses as soon as you produce an heir? You should do the same.
I have never loved another and never will.
Are you sure? You will be your father's daughter in one respect at least. You will love the bottle, even more so as you age out of being a muse, and bearing children will bring an end to that.
How can I prevent that from happening?
Do as thou wilt is the whole of the law.
Ah, this is not Thomas. It's Alistair Crowley. I've read your philosophy, Thelema.
Ah, you recognize me. I'm flattered.
Of course, your battle with my husband is a Golden Dawn legend.
I should say, he sent a dead vampiress to my bedroom every night in Paris for 10 days. Horrible, vicious demon crawling all over me. A darker magician-y trick I have never experienced. Yuck.
The battle to which I am referring is when he kicked you down the stairs and called the police after you tried to enter our temple on the Blythe Road in a kilt.
There was no law at that time which prohibited the wearing of a kilt in Hammersmith. But back to my philosophy. You read it, but do you understand it?
Do as thou wilt means follow your own will and damn everyone else. The Hellfire Club fools base their whole ethos on those words. What good did that do?
I cannot help it if people want to use my work to form societies. But no, that was not the original meaning. More so, I want adepts such as yourself to find their purpose and thus help the world around you to move in concert. Follow your will, guided by love for all, not only the one. That is what I'm saying.
I am following my purpose to help him.
You think your purpose on Earth is to nursemaid Yates and his family. You are a wordsmith too.
My husband is a great wordsmith whose words will touch millions.
If you say so. I never thought he was in my league.
I read your poetry too, as a child. You wrote it as a child?
No, I didn't write it as a... Really, I don't know why I bother.
Why do you bother? Why do you hate Willie so much? Why are you here?
Maybe I am not here at all. Maybe I am part of your own unconscious, your higher self, warning you as starkly as possible, love and work for all humanity, not just one man.
How do I do that? By claiming credit for a few of the bricks that he forms into magnificent cathedrals.
Try building a cathedral without foundations.
I'm tired now. I will pass on your regards.
Mention me, and he will crush every subsequent word from your mouth. Wiser, if you practice as I preach and leave my name out of it. Besides, unlike him, I would never take credit for your thoughts.
Thank you, Crowley, that's enough.
I am going, with one final word. I am at your service whenever you should need me. If I had you at my side, we would change the world. If Yates cannot see that, he is more limited than I fear.
Crowley disappears. Lights down, with Georgie in deep thought. The next morning, Yates is at the desk, reading. Georgie is asleep in bed. She awakens and slowly sits up.
I have something to tell you. Two things, actually.
One moment. I have a verse for you.
For me? Your wife? I can't believe it.
I hope you like it.
God, so do I.
The heart behind its rib laughed out. You have called me mad, it said, because I made you turn away and run from that young child. How could she mate with 50 years that was so wildly bred? Let the cage bird and the cage bird mate, and the wild bird mate in the wild.
I don't like it. I love it.
My wild bird.
They kiss.
Now, you tell me your news.
Yesterday, I did some auto-writing while you were asleep.
Georgie, please don't do it without me.
I'm sorry, but I'm telling you about it now. Is it true that you are planning to write a book based on our shared vision?
Oh, did we discuss this?
No.
I think this voice has access to what has gone before. W.B. Yeats writing a book, and it's making a good guess at one possible future, that I will write another.
You are planning to write a book, though, yes?
Yes.
In that case, I would like to ask you to credit me as co-author.
Co-author? I suffered the cooperative approach at the Abbey Theatre. Players and authors sitting together and settling by vote the play that should be performed and who should play it is preposterous. Never turned out well. One author, one vision. That's what brings about great art.
I am not asking for a committee. I refer to any work that uses the symbols and metaphors from our writing sessions.
Automatic writing sessions.
Are you suggesting that Thomas the instructor should be credited instead?
Spirits, apparitions and the likes cannot receive copyright for a work of art. I checked.
Well, that's good to know. Only if such a case was ever tested in court, I'd wager spirits and apparitions would sooner be credited with a work of art than a woman would.
Listen, please. Yes, you provide me with inspiration. And yes, you are an intelligent, wise, and more fascinating person than I've ever met. But I have interactions with others that mark me deeply too. That is not to say I don't have my own original thoughts as well from time to time. I fashion it all into poetry. You see? You are not forging my work. I am.
Then our work ends here.
Georgie, no, be fair.
Before you work yourself into a fit, please listen to my second item of news. I'm pregnant. I'm sure of it.
Yates is caught between heaven and hell. Heaven wins and he showers her in hugs and kisses.
Oh!
Be careful now.
I will. You waited to tell me this?
I know that the poetry comes first.
No. My duties as a husband come first.
And to my question of equal credit when I deserve it.
I promise you that I will ruminate on it. Just so long as I am rightly credited as this little one's father.
Oh, well, in that case, I must check the dates to be sure.
Yates laughs and hugs her. Act 3, Scene 1. 6 months later at a Georgian house in Dublin city centre. The stage is split between the hallway and front doorstep. In the hallway is a large rug. Maughan, dressed in a Red Cross nurse uniform, comes to the doorstep and hammers on the knocker. Yates, in his dressing gown, hurries to the hallway. He opens the front door.
What? What are you doing here?
He looks over his shoulder nervously and walks out to the doorstep.
Willie, dear, I want to get into my house.
We agreed that I would take your house for 4 months while my tower's being renovated. It's not yet 3 months.
You said that you would leave when I was out of prison.
You're out of prison already?
Am I not standing here?
No, this is so sudden. You sent me no advance word there.
I gave nobody advance word, especially not the prison.
You've escaped then?
Of course.
George is pregnant.
George is pregnant? Odd thing to say.
My wife, Georgie, she is pregnant and recovering from that dreaded flu. We cannot take you in.
What shall Miniloosh and me do while we wait for Georgie to give birth or die or both?
She's not going to die. That's a terrible thing to say.
You think you have the right to be angry now? Miniloosh and me, that is who should be angry, and we are.
Who is this Miniloosh character? Your new lover?
A cat. My cat. Miniloosh. Miniloosh. We are both in need of safe harbour.
Both? All right. Was the cat in prison too?
Don't be facetious. A cat cannot be sentenced to jail. Miniloosh chose to join me there. He mewed and meowed at the prison door until the guards could stand it no more and let him in. He knew exactly which corridors to take to get to my cell too. So they tell me. If only my human friends were as loyal as my furry ones.
So, where is it now? Crawling around my gutters, dragging down all kind of germs?
They are my gutters. And he is waiting in the doss house that we are using as a halfway home. I explained to him that I was coming here to find safe harbour. I'm not returning to tell Miniloosh that you have refused us entry.
You're on the run. I think you'd be happy anywhere. Likewise, a cat. If you stay here, how long before the peelers find you?
I will guard this home like the General Post Office.
The building that was blasted to pieces in the failed rising. But that's not a good idea.
Then what would you have me do?
It is often the best thing that can happen to a timid, sensitive nature such as yours to be forced to rely upon itself for a while.
I see.
Good.
I'll get a gun and come back.
Willie? Who is it?
It's the messages, dear. The grocery deliveries. Yeah, you just go back to rest there.
I feel a draft.
Just closing the door now.
He steps up into the hallway. Maud follows him right up to the door.
Don't you dare close my own door in my own face. I'll tell Assault, and she'll never forgive you.
Assault is living with you? You just mentioned a bloody cat.
Yes, my daughter's living with me. It goes without saying.
Oh, stop making a scene on the doorstep.
You have confined me to the doorstep.
Did you promise just to keep your voice down?
Yes.
Look, come in for a minute and let's just discuss this like adults.
Maud enters the hallway and he closes the door.
This is not a time to be out and about in this city or any city, given that the flu pandemic is it's killing all and sundry. Yesterday, 250 deaths were recorded in Dublin alone.
What pandemic?
Spanish flu, of course. Is that not why you're dressed as a Red Cross nurse?
This is a mere disguise.
Are you telling me you've not heard of the pandemic sweeping the world?
I was hatching a plot to cut short my stay at His Majesty's pleasure. Excuse me if I didn't stay abreast of all the housewives' tittle-tattle and gossip too.
Upon my word. The flu, like you, is off and running. Some say it started in an army base in Kansas, and when the soldiers landed in Europe, so did the virus.
They should have blasted the soldiers out of the water, so a watery grave would have prevented the spread, that's for sure.
Is that your answer for everything? Blow a boat out the water? I'm afraid this virus is a bit more slippery than liquid. It alters its structure so quickly the scientists can't keep up. Transmission's happening at a rate of knots, and it's worldwide. You should get yourself indoors and stay there.
I am trying to get indoors, in here.
What if you're carrying the virus? If pneumonia develops in any of us, death can follow in days. Poor Georgie, she can't be sick again. And what's more, I cannot tolerate the police raids that invariably follow in your wake.
If they arrive, I shall escape and head for the countryside. The people in the West adore me.
Yeah, well, what's left of them? The west of Ireland is crowded with hearses and funerals. Go back to your halfway hidey home and just stay there. Go now.
How dare you eject me from my own house, you unpatriotic coward.
Unpatriotic? I've written some 600 poems about Ireland.
Spitting on it in every one, and here you are now, refusing shelter to a revolutionary heroine. Romantic eyes, dead and gone, with O'Leary in the grave.
Don't you quote my poetry at me.
You louser, you took advantage of a woman in prison to give her a low rent. And your pet hares have eaten all my back garden greenery.
How in God's name do you know that?
I hopped over the back wall to take a look. It's my house.
It's a pure love of mischief you have, and nothing else. You're terrible, you are. A terrible beauty.
Iseult was right about you. She said, like me, you're in need of a keeper. You.
Give me strength. If you don't go back to your hideout, you'll likely catch the killer flu, and you'll be bloody well arrested on your deathbed.
Arrested on my deathbed? Me? That would be fitting.
God, yeah. Yeah, it would.
I would love it. Please, Willie, let us stay. We won't be an ounce of trouble to you.
Maud, do not force me to pick you up over my shoulder and deposit you out in the green for all the isolators to see from their bedroom windows, huh? That'd be a cure for their boredom and no mistake.
I bet you would manhandle me too. This, after you manhandled me in quite another way not long ago now.
Excuse me?
Really? You don't remember? You were in Galway, I was in Paris. We astral projectioneered to meet between the two cities. Don't you remember? Or do you astral projectioneer with all the girls?
That was a time ago. It's before I was married.
It was the greatest night of passion that I have ever had in my life.
It was?
Yes. I was conscious of starlight and hearing the sea below us. You had taken the form of a great serpent. I saw your face distinctly, and as I looked into your eyes, your lips touched mine. We melted into one another until we formed a single magnificent being, a being greater than ourselves and who felt all and knew all. And then we knew each other with an intensity that was heavenly. How was it for you?
It's all right.
All right? Admit that you feel the same fervour, the same old fever that you've always felt in my presence.
If unrequited love was a virus, I'd have spent decades in hospital with no known cure. That's what it felt like. But no longer.
I think you feel the same old feeling still, Willie. See, you're perspiring.
Yeah, I feel something curious. Yeah, what it is, I'm not sure.
I dreamt later that night that we went to Italy together, and we were very happy.
You did? Yeah.
Yes, and so that is what we should do. That is the solution. We run away together. You, me, and Minilouche, and Isolt.
It was a dream. Adults do not base their futures on random dreams.
There's nothing random in this world. Dreams use symbols to instruct us in our lives. You taught me that.
So sometimes a dream is just a dream. And the dream of us having a future together, that's over.
Is that so? Then this news is dead to you, for you have no more use to her.
She turns to the door.
Perhaps when I am 6 feet under, I shall be known only by those poems of yours.
Maud tries to open the door. In her upset, she cannot do it. She bangs on it and turns and slides down into a seated position. He goes to comfort her. She kisses him. He pulls away.
I can't. I'm a married man.
In name only. Come with me where the wave of moonlight glosses, the dim grey sands with light.
A stolen child.
You will allow me to recite it.
Far off, by furthest Rosses. We foot it all the night.
He lifts her up.
Weaving olden dances, mingling hands and mingling glances.
They dance slowly.
Till the moon has taken flight. To and fro we leap.
And chase the frothy bubbles, while the world is full of troubles and anxious in its sleep.
Maud pushes herself closer to Yates.
Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand.
For the world's more full of weeping than you can understand.
The world's more full of weeping than you can understand.
She presents herself for a kiss. Yates leans in and...
Oh, disgusting.
I'm sorry. I think that fever I'm feeling, I think I've got the Spanish flu. The chills, they're racking through my body.
I cannot get the flu. I've so much left to do. Revolution, the vote, votes. I have to go. But worry not, I will return. You need your muse.
I already have my muse.
And if we do not see each other again on this earthly plane, I will see that our spiritual union lives on in the life after.
She exits. He crawls to the rug.
Not if I see you in the life after first.
Georgie enters, visibly pregnant.
Willie? Willie, what's the matter?
Go to bed. I'll be fine here.
You're not well. I'll ring the doctor. Come to bed.
No. I'll infect you.
I've had a fever. It is broken. I'm immune to you.
So is every woman I've ever met.
Indeed. Come on.
I don't want you to die.
Thankfully, we're both alive.
In sickness and in health. Oh, God, burn it up. It's better to rain in hell. Better to rain in hell.
Pulls the rug over himself like a blanket.
I am not tucking you under a rug for the evening. Come to bed now. My God, the door is wide open. Where are the messages?
The messages? The instructors are back?
No, I'm talking about the groceries.
There are no groceries.
Sits up.
No, everything we wanted is Maud gone. We can try again tomorrow.
Is that right?
She looks up and down the street but can't see anybody. She shuts the door. Yates tries to get up. She helps him to his feet, where he stands unsteadily.
We are sleeping in Maud's bed, you know.
Yes. You got there in the end.
They exit. Scene 2. The master bedroom in the Yates Ballylee Tower in County Galway. The atmosphere is surreal and dreamlike. The room has a window, bed, and incongruously a dinner table with 4 chairs. On the table sits wine and a large meat pie. Georgie sits at the tower window. Absurdly, her hair is now long and blonde, Rapunzel-esque. She drops a long strand out the window, as if living a fairy tale. Enter a distracted Yates.
What? How did I get here? Wife, why is your hair so long?
I couldn't get to a hairdresser during the pandemic.
Honestly now, are you trying to escape from my tower?
Not at all. I'm merely trying to encourage your other muses to come up and join us.
Excellent idea.
Consider it yours.
I already have.
Maughan enters via the vine-like hair strands. She comes through the window and into the bedroom.
Welcome to our humble little tower.
Nothing humble about this tower, Georgie. It's a great whacking huge thing. Well done, you.
She walks around, taking in the place. Willie can't believe his eyes.
Maud? Is that you?
Yes, Willie, of course it's me. You'd have to be half asleep not to recognise the most beautiful revolutionary in Ireland, male or female. I knock James Stephens into a cocked hat, that's for sure. And I've come to live in your tower forever.
Huzzah!
One thing, is the British Army coming after you?
Most likely.
I'll make up the spare room, sir.
She pulls up her hair and exits to make up the room for the British Army.
Nice tower. I like the way it protrudes high into the sky. Terribly phallic.
Yes, I like to stand proud.
Effects an heroic stance. Maud stares in awe. One long beat later, Georgie re-enters.
Are we expecting Isolt too?
Yes, she's just building up the courage. My daughter's almost 25, but sadly she's one of the dormouse generation for whom their parents must do everything. If you had married her, Willie, I'm sure she would have asked me to sleep with you in her stead. You do it for me, Mummy, please.
That's perfectly fine with me.
Well, that's settled then. Let us dine.
Georgie walks to the table. Her hair still trails behind her and out the window. Maud and Yates join her. They start to guzzle the wine.
Oh. Well, this is very pleasant. I don't know why I didn't think of doing it before. All my muses and I living together in one giant cock tower.
Do you mean clock tower?
No.
He stands and serves pie.
Now, I'd like to give everyone a portion.
Don't forget to keep a portion for Isolt.
I wouldn't dream of forgetting. I have written a new poem in your name.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
For Georgie, that is.
I love it.
Wait until you hear it first.
The lighting changes to a darker hue.
I, the poet, William Yeats, with old mill boards and sea green slates, and smithy work from the Gort Forge, restored this tower for my wife, George.
You changed my name?
I prefer it that way.
Let me see, please.
The atmosphere is now decidedly more chilly than before.
So you could rhyme it with forge?
No, really. No, I prefer it that way.
You prefer your wife to have a man's name?
The editor of the Occult Times likes it.
Oh, in that case, it's just ruddy marvellous. What if I was to change your name? Because, I don't know, I preferred it that way. Instead of Willie, I'd refer to you as Piggy.
I don't think so.
What do you think, Maud?
Where is my new poem?
I don't have a new poem for you, but there are many others in your name.
I see. Well, in that case, you are dead to me.
She goes to the window, reaches outside, and turns around holding a rifle.
Whoa, put that down, Maud. There's no need for gunplay. George, tell her.
Sorry, who?
I don't know why I didn't think of this before. I'm sick of being your muse. It's boring, and we get nothing out of it. Isolt feels exactly the same way.
As do I.
Good woman yourself.
Now, muses. Let's just take this slowly, shall we? Now, put the gun down, and George, put the poem down.
Georgie walks to the window, looks out.
Oh, look who it is!
She throws down her hair. Lady Gregory enters, climbing into the room via Georgie's hair, a force of nature despite her advancing years.
Lady Gregory, not a moment too soon.
Oh, thank you, dear.
She stomps up to Yates.
Poem to pick with you.
Me, your most trusted friend and colleague?
Lady Gregory produces a saucer-sized gold medal.
What's you doing with my Nobel Prize medal?
Stay your peace and listen for once. On accepting the Nobel Prize, you presented Kathleen Nehulahan, which I wrote with you. Where's my Nobel Prize? Huh? Or a few quid from it, at least. Or even a mention on the day.
I mentioned you 8 times in my Nobel lecture.
But you didn't give me the credit I deserved for Kathleen. Not in Sweden, not anywhere.
Look, I make no secret that I'm a huge admirer of your work. You write pitch-perfect dialect of the common man and woman to whom I have no access.
No access. Ha! See the gate outside your medieval tower? Go through it and magically you'll be transported to a world full of common folk. A world called real bloody life. I want my co-credit.
I see what's happening here.
Finally!
He steps away from the 3 who gather in a line. He addresses each in turn.
Lady Gregory, you would never be as rude as to ask for credit on work we completed together. George, you would devote your life to protecting my work. An excellent use of a life, by the way. And you would never dare to damage it. And Maud, well, sometimes we fight like alley cats. I know you'd never shoot me dead, because you've often had a gun on your person when we've argued and you've never once used it. Therefore, I am in a dream.
All of a sudden, the women freeze. Alistair Crowley enters.
Yes, Yates, you are dreaming, but not in any way you have experienced in the past.
Oh, Crowley. What rough beast slouches towards Bethlehem to be born now, huh? What have you done?
If you shut up, I will tell you. What I am doing here is indulging in a spot of dreamscape gardening.
What in God's name is dreamscape gardening?
You really have let your magicking slip, haven't you?
Sorry, I've been busy winning Nobel Prizes for literature.
1 Nobel Prize for literature. Pathetic. Dreamscape gardening is quite simply a spell in concept, if devilishly hard to achieve in reality, or should I say, in dreams. For this spell, I visited you while you are suffering a great fever and hallucinating wildly, and replaced your fever dream with your ultimate dream, in which each of your muses is immediately available and pliant to your every whim. And I have begun to pluck and shape this dreamscape to allow in just enough reality to turn it into a bloody nightmare, inside of which I will leave you to stew.
Until I wake.
Oh, sorry, forgot to mention, you're not waking. This is it, for you, forever. Trapped in sleep stasis, living out a surreal nightmare from which there is no escape. Unless...
What do you want?
I want you to do the honourable thing. Divorce Georgie, allow me to step in. With a woman like that supporting me, I could conquer the world.
I can see why you so like visiting me on every plane imaginable. My life is a fantastic adventure. Yours is a living hell. I'm your escape. Oh, I knew you had designs on George all along. But you're the one who's dreaming, Crowley. If you think she'd come and running into your arms, she's a respectable woman. While you're the complete opposite. A disreputable man.
In that case, you are no good to man nor the beast. You can stay here forever.
Crowley exits. The women unfreeze and continue their muse mutiny.
Will you acknowledge us in an official capacity?
Using our correct names.
And let us share the benefits you receive for your musings.
Never!
Lady Gregory stomps to the window and throws out the Nobel Prize medal.
No! No, George!
Maughan takes aim at his heart.
No! No! No!
He falls to the ground, mortally wounded. They plunge into darkness. Lights up a moment later. The ladies have disappeared. Yates is on his deathbed. The scene shifts to midday in a bedroom near the sea. Crowley re-enters.
Here we may reign secure. In my choice to reign is worth ambition, though in hell. Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. Wherefore let we then our faithful Crowley, is that you? Where am I? Is this hell?
Oh, poor Didums. The south of France not to your liking?
Where's everyone gone?
You are at the end of your life now. Georgie separated from you because you still wanted to court sexually attractive younger women. Beg my pardon, I mean muses for your poetry. In turn, she received the freedom to write and to accept visits from lovers of her own. Be thankful she stopped short of pressing you into the Prussian army. After which, free of your oppressive influence, she and Lady Gregory became renowned artists. Oh, and Maud wanted to be here, but instead sends her regards from jail.
Tell me, was I as good a person as a poet?
Obviously not. Are you listening to me at all?
Oh, God, help me.
Georgie enters. She is dressed in a long satin-lined cape, looking every inch the powerful magician.
Mage Hyde Lees, I have ended him for you. Will you join me now?
We can live together forever. On earth, in dreams, beyond space and time. Or in my magnificent 2 up, 2 down in Leamington Spa. The choice is yours. Leave, Crowley, and don't ever darken our planes of existence again.
Reject me, will you? You pointless little servant woman. For my next trick, I will haunt you into the life after and make your life hell there too.
You will be alone in the next world, Crowley.
The room goes dark. The lights come up to the same scene as before, with one change. A terrified Crowley stands naked, with his hands cupping his genitals.
You are naked, shivering, and deeply vulnerable underneath. Like us all. Never forget this feeling.
The room goes dark. After a moment, the lighting returns. Crowley is gone.
Willie, rest assured, you won't be alone in the next world.
I won. Genuine love.
Well, we both know that isn't true.
She kisses his head. He expires. Georgie weeps. Lights down. Scene 3. The same tower, except the atmosphere has returned to something much more naturalistic. Yates awakens on the marriage bed. Georgie enters. She smiles down at him. The glorious dawn breaks through the open window.
How did I get here?
The mail boat.
Oh my God, was it blown up?
No.
Yeah, I mean, where are we?
Of course, Willie.
Our home?
Yes. We have finally moved into our lovely little tower after your bout of flu.
Oh, the instructions and the metaphors?
Safely written down for future use.
The future. It hasn't happened.
Yes, as is always the case with the future.
Then I just had the most inspirational dream. Georgie, you have always been my one true muse.
Fine. I'll take a well-intentioned lie over a miserable truth any day.
And I will be yours.
My what?
Your muse.
The lights dim. Spotlight upon Crowley, who has entered quietly.
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, and love is the law. Love under will.
Well, you heard the man. Do as thou wilt.
Crowley smiles and leaves, his work done.
Oh, I wilt, my love. I wilt.
He smiles, gazes at her adoringly. She puts out her hand. Yates takes it, sits her on the bed. He leans over to her eagerly. They kiss. Lights down. The end. Well done, everyone. Thank you very much to the cast. We will have our Q&A session in 10 minutes' time, so around 7:33 by my clock. We look forward to seeing you then. If you'd like to post any comments or thoughts or questions in the chat, now is a brilliant time to do it. Thank you very much.